citizen comments? No citizen comments. Approval of minutes from 12/3/2024. Again on that? Yeah. Motion is second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Approval of agenda, make a motion, got a second on that. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Comments from departments, we'll start with codes.
Hello, so I do have under my, report, or I do have on there for an employee safety report, was asked of me. However, I was unsure of what kind of detail needed to be put into that, so that has been deferred and we will do that next month. But just in departmental review, so the trucks that I got approved, at our last safety committee meeting, they did go through finance and they were approved through finance, so I'm working to get a locked-in price from Ally Revenue and Ford Homes Pro. And that will go before the board of their alderman soon. I made a selection in my stormwater program coordinator position. I will be sending her that offer this week. I've been doing that today, but I'll get to it. We do have a quarterly employee safety meeting tomorrow. That's another reason that I deferred the employee safety report, just so we can kind of get some more information from that, for that report for next month. So that is tomorrow. All departments are represented for that. And then, just a FYI, for the month of January, we have had 8 new construction permits pulled. And from those 8 permits alone, there's been about $60,000 in impact fees collected. So FYI for you guys. Not like that. Aside from that, unless you have questions for me, that's all I have for the department review.
You're good to go?
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move down to the fire department.
So we had a hiccup at the moment meeting, and now the light doesn't work, it's coming tomorrow. But when we installed the new software, but they will be here soon.
Good evening. Monthly review for December. Sir? Oh, I'm sorry.
Give me your agenda.
I'm sorry. Monthly review for December. Let's see here. Barn permits, we issued 16 permits. We had 109 responses. We had 12 MVAs we responded to, 2 were in the county, 10 were in the city. We did have 5 fires. We had a shed fire on Fairlane Drive, a stove fire on Royal Trail, no damage, cooking fire in an RV on John Mark Court, a food truck fire over by the rec center, and some receptacles that were set on fire outside the food line in the month of December. Inspection-wise, the fire marshal conducted 11 inspections in the industrial park. We attended the annual fire inspectors conference in Murfreesboro. That's where he gets the CEUs for training at every year. Him and Captain Wright attended that. He conducted a fire inspection at Food Line, numerous construction inspections at Fairfield Inn over there by Waffle House on 53, Rivendell Apartments. Is that still ongoing to repair those apartments? The new Greek restaurant by the Dollar Tree by Walmart. 7-11 construction progress and follow-up inspections on alarm system problems in various hotels. And various meetings with the Best Western, which is on Expressway Drive, and the Fairfield Inn for follow-up actions on the construction. We installed 7 car seats for citizens during the month, installed 10 smoke alarms in 2 homes, and 12 EMS assists during the month of December. We did rescue a person who fell out from the road over there on Wait Street. Executed a person who was up there. Where's the shed fire on Fairlane Drive? Snowfire Roll Trail, cooking fire RV, on the RV, and doing the report. Food truck was set on fire. There was a food truck behind the rec center for some time, and we believe the guy that set the fire at Food Line set the food truck on fire over at rec center. It's a food line and set some bins on fire for a food line and some damage to the exterior food line. And he started a fire in the parking lot between food line and real estate office. He was subsequently arrested, Tullahoma for other issues, and still investigating the arson charge. Conducted interviews for various positions during the month of December. Voted Andrew Floyd to captain, Sam Pennington to lieutenant, Tyler Bradshaw and LeBron Brand to driver. And I forgot to put it on here, we also conducted interviews for 2 firefighters. We hired Joe Bobstein and a guy named Justin Boline. And they will start, Mr. Bobstein will start Friday, Mr. Boline will start Thursday. Our Department Christmas Dinner Conference Center. Engine 611 is back out of service, starting issues again. We're working with C&K here on the way to Hillsborough, 40 months out. That's who repaired it last time for us, so we're working with them to determine the issues with it. On the Versailles project updates, flooring upstairs has been replaced at Station 2, so I can do the downstairs, we'll have to do that in February. Received a new quote for the bed frames for Station 2. I submitted it to the finance department today. I'll be submitting a purchase order later in the week to purchase the bed frames for Station 2, then we'll go after Station 1. Hydrant painting doesn't have to start till early spring. Our new G1 air packs, we put those in service on 23 December. Personnel training on their use, and they're working very well so far. We just need to determine what to do with our old Avon air packs that we have. Maybe we'll sell them on gov deals. I want to get with Assistant Chief Floyd, see if we can put them on gov deals, and maybe there's some takers out there maybe a little bit of money out of them. The packs themselves and the masks are still good. The bottles are no good now. But the packs could be used for a volunteer department somewhere in the country or anywhere. So put those on gov deals and see what kind of bite we get on those. As far as the packs go, everybody was fit tested for the packs during December. Mr. Bobstein and Mr. Boline, we're going to take them and get them fit tested Wednesday here in town. For the next fiscal year, we'll need to purchase 10 more packs and some bottles. And there's we've already got a quote from NSA. There's a Bluetooth capability that you can Bluetooth your radio to the pack. So you don't have to, you can just talk and wear your radio. So we're looking at that capability. We'll do that in the new 25 budget year. On the mobile repeater, we know now that Vago bought a BDA for their facility. We tested it, we're fine. So we're gonna have to buy our own mobile repeaters and get back with a Motorola repeater, make sure that price is still the same for 2 repeaters, put in 2 trucks. And, we'll see what it tells us. Replacement fire engine. We'll go down to the vehicle for the fire marshal. The mayor talked about replacing the vehicle for the fire marshal. We received a quote today from Alabama Patrol, as a matter of fact. And they quoted us a bid price of $28,971 for a Ford Maverick XLT all-wheel drive, ruby red metallic. That's what they quoted us today. So in order to do that, I would have $28,971 for budget. So we need ask for take us to the finance department and ask for budget amendment to purchase that and/or figure out how long it takes to process. Because I already talked to him today. He said, I mean,
2.5 months if they have to build it.
2.5 months. If they have a ruby red one somewhere in the United States, we can get one quickly. If they don't have a ruby red one in the United States, then they would have to build the truck. That would take 2 months to get that. So that could possibly fall in line with next budget year and be able to buy it with next year's funds instead of this year's funds.
That's gonna replace the 2005 model.
Yes, sir, it's gonna replace the 2005 model that Jeremy currently buys, that burns oil and
Smoke.
the smokes and the headliner fixes. So this will have replaced it, 2005 Silver model. The other is, the other thing is the replacement fire engine. We talked about it last safety committee meetings, and we put on the agenda for this safety committee meeting. I talked with the Rosenbauer dealer today in Decatur, and he says the price for the new engine is about $852 plus equipment. And they also talked to me, he said because of, I guess, the current administration in Washington DC, they put some new EPA law out there for Cummins motors, and that's supposed to start for any motor built after, or any vehicle built after January 2026. The motor hasn't been built yet, it's got new EPA requirements, new emission requirements. But he said that the current administration is gonna come in to office next week and mix that idea, continue to build the motors they're building now and not have all these new EPA requirements on diesel engines. If they do have to go with the diesel engine increase, just the increase of the engines, 50K, so now we have 50K to the price would be $900-something thousand for my engines. Rosenbauer, I believe, talked to them, so they believe they can build theirs in 18 to 20 months as opposed to K&E's a 3-year build through their services.
And there wasn't any difference in price on that, they're all
They're all basically the same, yes, sir. I mean, K&E engine was higher than the Rosenbauer engine. It was like, theirs was like 880 plus the 50.
Yeah, so they're down, we have 20.
So this is 852 plus the 50, depending on whether the federal government makes us put the 50 in there or not. But that's for any engine built after 1 January 2026. That's the new EPA, new emission requirements for diesel motors.
Question?
I got a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
The air packs,
Yes, sir.
the Avon,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
what do you think you're gonna get out of this thing?
I have no idea.
I mean, it's not
We
really.
might get, might get $1,000, might get $2,000, might get $500. I have no idea.
What would be the harm in just giving it to a volunteer fire department?
Well, around here, all of our volunteer fire departments around here use the same air packs we use, with the exception of Hillsborough. Hillsborough has a mixture of, I wanna say Scott's and another air pack. New Union, North Coffee, Hickerson Station, and Summerville all uses MSAG packs. Now, we could possibly give them to another volunteer, and put it out there on the Tennessee Fire Chief's web there and say, hey, I've got 40 packs, 30 masks or whatever. Somebody like to have these. I can do that also.
Yeah, I just, giving somebody to, know what we're gonna get out of it, let's get some good, somebody else get some good out of it,
Yes, sir.
you know?
There's really nothing wrong with them,
Yeah.
they're just old and out of date, the models are out of date. They'll be out of date.
I just thought, whatever you're gonna do, I'm good with it.
So, I guess, for all of them out of date, I mean, how does anybody use it?
Well, you can use the pack, but you can't use the bottle.
So why don't we just buy new bottles?
We had to buy new packs, so you couldn't, because there's,
I'm just trying to understand,
we
right? I mean, if
bought
there's-
new packs because the standard we used, that we bought the Avon packs was like the 2007 standard. Now we're to the 2018 or 20 standard, so they've increased 2 or 3 standards since then. They've gotten more safe, they're better packs, they've changed a lot on them, so that's why we want the new packs. Yes, sir.
Curiosity.
Yes, sir.
You're gonna have to explain to me about the repeater again, would you do that?
We were gonna put a mobile repeater in 2 of our vehicles, so when we go to certain buildings in town, certain buildings we go into, like, we used to go to Ravago, we go to Ravago, we need to get 3/4 of the way through Ravago. You literally step from this piece of paper to this piece of paper, and you couldn't talk to the call center. And it was nothing to do with the radios, it's just the radio wave transmission, that's what it did. So they put a BDA, which is a, I can't remember the proper term, bidirectional antenna inside of Ravago. And by putting that bidirectional antenna, they spent like $12,000-14,000 putting the BDA in there. And so now we go in there, we can see it, it's their BDA to our repeater, police radios, or it was happening with volunteer radios, it's happening with our radios. We have a workaround for it now, we just switch one click to a, talk around channel, and they can talk from inside to outside all day long, not a problem. And the command can relay whatever to back to the comm center. But I think with a mobile repeater in there, that would eliminate that process, and we're talking about comm center each and every time.
Hopefully, there's no buildings that they don't work in. Measure that,
Like, what's the name of the,
is it mostly in the industrial park?
no, I mean, sometimes you can walk into Home Depot,
Yeah.
and depending on where you're walking at Home Depot, you'll get the busy signal, and you walk in another spot, Home Depot, and it works fine. So it's Home Depot, where it doesn't do it in there, where it does it in there, it's done at Lacey Healthcare, it's done at Manchester Healthcare, it's done at numerous places in town, and you go to another building, and it works perfectly good, and you go in that building, you're like, I would assume it wouldn't work in here because of the design of the building, but you go in other buildings, and it works fine. It's just kind of a hit and miss kind of deal, is what it is, and it's all about radio signals now, like Tullahoma bought the same radios that we're all using. Theirs aren't online yet because there's a new repeater that they're doing on AEDC Road. It's called Public Station Road. First left turn you make off of AEDC Road, go toward the Howland area. They're building a repeater right there. Big repeater, it's right now it's an AT&T repeater, they're adding the TACAN system to that repeater. When they do that, that'll bring Tullahoma fully online, because their next closest repeater only does to like Lowe's, and that's it. They can't get anything else in the city. They get to Lowe's, that's as far as they can get for the current repeater situation, and it's surrounding our counties. So they put this new repeater up, and talking with the radio people here, and talking in McMinnville, they believe that new repeater, by bringing it closer to us, may help that also. But we don't know that till they bring the repeater online. And the state's not really, state's working on it, but people in McMinnville don't know when that repeater's coming up, Tullahoma doesn't know when the repeater's coming up, they're just waiting for it. Fed is putting the TACAN piece in there, and once that's done, then that repeater will be up and running, and we'll be able to determine then whether it does or doesn't assist us. And then we can go further in evaluating the mobile repeaters.
So we need to hold off on that longer?
We do, I'm gonna talk to Motorola, but I would say maybe we hold off a little bit longer to see what that new repeater site does for our communications piece.
That could solve our problem.
It could solve half of it, or it could solve all, or it could solve none of it. We won't know that till they put the repeater up.
So of course, this was before my time, but I know in the county, we spent $2+ million on
Yes.
the radios.
So
We
we
did the same.
We did the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to hook up to the world. I remember the time, it was the sheriff that was really pushing
Yes,
that for
yes,
us, right?
yes.
And we were going on this new state system.
Yes, sir.
Um,
And it does work, it is a lot more effective in a lot of places, it really is.
but most of your business is inside.
Most of my business, I'm talking inside, you know, a lot of times, and like I said, you go to one building, it works, you go to another building, it doesn't.
Most of
But-
the businesses that drop tickets.
But where, like,
Yeah, well, I mean, he's outside,
Right.
he's under the.
but we switch
I mean,
that,
How does it work? I mean, you guys don't have any problems unless you're in the same buildings, I guess, right? I mean, as far as communication and.
What about the high school? Is that horrible? So that's my concern, the whole thing.
but it works good in, it doesn't work great in the high school, but it works good in, you know, Westwood Middle, most places, and Westwood Elementary, most places, College Street, most places, but to be fair, it would be just as bad there as it is at the high school, but it's not. It's kind of hit and miss.
And so the $27,000, that's for one,
That's for,
was that two?
I think it was for one, that's for one repeater. Yeah, it's $54,000 for two repeaters.
And I guess that's probably where I was headed here, right? I mean, should we honestly look at buying one until we figure the technology out that goes in the captain's vehicle that always goes to the scene?
Wasn't there a mobile one? Is that?
That's what it is, that's
Yeah,
what it is.
it goes into
It's a
the
mobile
vehicle.
repeater, it's in a box,
Yeah.
it's like in a suitcase.
I mean, I almost think even, we need that, even if we don't
Okay.
have, even if it's open, because you never know, like, who knows what the
Yes.
situation. I mean, when the AT&T bombing happened
spent $251,000 a week for ours, and I think the police spent a similar amount.
Now, so another question is, okay, if you do buy one and you put it in the, captain's vehicle, can police use it in the building as well? Does-
Yes, sir.
so
Everybody
they-
that's
they
there-
would solve a
everybody's
problem,
there.
everybody from scene, right?
Yes, sir, everybody that's on scene can use that mobile repeater already as a vehicle.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So,
Us, EMS, police, sheriff's department, everybody.
I just, why would, that's a cheap price to pay if you need, if something were, I hate to have a situation where we couldn't communicate. An active shooter situation or something like that, it just would be.
the last thing you want is a firefighter in a.
Well, like I said, we switched to channel 1,
Yeah.
or channel 2. Channel 2 is the talk about channel, so we can talk to the firefighter inside, can talk to the captain's car. They can do that really easily. I just can't talk back to the comm center.
If you want help or something.
Yes, sir.
That would be, I mean,
But a guy sitting in a little white truck, he can call back to the comm center. This eliminates that, switching a channel, you just get in there, you talk back, and it eliminates that process. Yeah, I can talk to the Motorola guy, I'll send him an email tomorrow and say, hey, this is the price you gave me a year and a half ago, is this still good? Because we know we gotta replace the radio in 602's vehicle, we have to replace that whole radio, that's why the price gets partially high. Because that radio that's currently in is a 4500 model, but it won't do mobile repeaters, that's a 6500 model, so we got that figured out. So I can email him this week and see what he says.
I mean, of course, my preference is that you guys pass something and push it to finance and see if they have the money, and the worst thing that ever happen, right, is we have some need for it and we don't have it. We've gone a couple of years now knowing that we're dark in some places with workarounds, but
Well, the Air Force Base is a perfect example, they use equipment out there, who knows if they affects all kinds of electronic.
Yeah, I think we make a motion, send that to finance for consideration. Yeah, I'll second.
I'll vote for it.
Any further discussion?
We're gonna talk about the fire,
you know,
we're looking at $1 million, basically.
All in favor?
Oh, I thought we already voted on it. I did,
This is my meeting.
sorry.
Get live.
I'm sorry. You asked for discussion.
I need to
try.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, let's move forward, sorry. We'll go on with your
I just wanna know
fire truck.
about the fire truck, I wanna know more about it.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna spend $1 million, basically, which is double what we spent 5 years ago.
so what I want to discuss is a different approach to a $1 million vehicle. And we've talked about it, and, you know, we may be at different places, which is fine, but I think it's something worth talking about. If you look at the calls that you make every month, okay, a very small percentage of them calls is actually fire nowadays, okay, which is good, it's not bad.
It's very good.
Here's what I'd like for us to look at. A smaller vehicle that fits 4 people, that has a bed with everything they need to make calls with versus taking your $1 million vehicle out every time somebody falls. Okay? So if we need a lift assist, and we go on quite a few of those.
Yes, sir.
We have to help somebody get up somewhere to do something. We're taking our highest priced vehicles on these calls. Right? You know, everything in fire, I think in the last 20 years has changed to where mostly you used to fight fires all the time. That's a very small percentage of we do car accidents, we do lift assists. We have a lot of false alarms, I hate to say it that way, but, you know, and you could get into something that's like an F-350, F-450, that has the bed that you designed, that is a pumper, I think, I don't want to use the wrong terminology, but it had everything that you could attend a car wreck and everything with. And that would be the vehicle that you can replace relatively inexpensively in 5 years. You can pull the bed back off, buy a new chassis, put the bed back on, and move forward. I'm not saying we don't need a new one, his time is up, and it's $1 million, right?
smaller in a shorter time. I did research with NAPCO primarily, I did talk to the guys in the safe industries also. I think both of them sent me, some information on a smaller truck, F-350, F-450 size, couple 100-gallon water tank, not necessarily a hose big, could use it for firefighting because of the size of it, couldn't be big enough pump on it. But to go do a lift assist, possibly do a vehicle electrification, those kind of things, and they're giving me some prices on those, they're in the 250 to 350 range for one of those smaller vehicles. But it can't replace an engine, that's the downside of it.
100% agree, it's just about the wear and tear on these engines.
Yes, yes.
Right? I mean, there again,
And, you know, sometimes, I don't want to say all the time, but some of those lift assists, you need 3 people or 4 people because of the size of the patient, the condition of the patient, those kind of things. And then some other times, we can put 2 guys in, the old 600, the old 602, send them over there, put 2 guys in there, send them over, pick the patient up, with 2 EMS people there and be good to go. You can do that. You can do, or you can do it with a smaller vehicle like that also, yes, sir.
So if you're gonna spend $350,000 on a vehicle for that, you're still gonna need,
Still gonna need that $1 million engine, yes, sir.
so you're gonna hope that you can make that $1 million engine last
And last,
another couple, 2 or 3 years because you're not using it as much, right? That's where we're going.
well, it's got a service life on it. Service life on a fire engine is 25 years, let's say. I think it's 25 years. So the first 15 of those years, that truck's supposed to be a frontline engine in service, using it every day, doing whatever you're doing. The next 10 years of it is supposed to be in a reserve status. So you buy it, say you replace it 15 years, you buy a new engine, and that one's in reserve status for 10 years, and just continue that rotation based on the age of the vehicle, not the miles, not anything else. That's what the standard calls for, that's the recommended replacement in the standard. And the little truck doesn't necessarily have that same, service life, so we could use it longer than we use one of our engines.
and I mean, you know, the other part of it too, right, is, I mean, you're not taking a 40-foot trailer or truck out to help somebody get up, right? I mean, we can probably get there a little better, I mean, it's just something to think about, right? It's not to not talk about the engine, but it's just an alternative to save life on things.
I didn't work for that.
So the issue with the small vehicle is we also gotta look at ISO ratings, and we're required to have a certain amount of engines, also required to have a certain amount of ladder trucks, this and that, which we're already behind on one ladder truck. That's based on our hotels. But with all that being said, what if we looked at a used engine? That one that's been refurbished or a demo or something that's cheaper, that will still get us by.
Let me ask, on this $300,000 truck, this one, what are the exact capabilities of that truck? We would be able to.
We could take our extrication equipment off of our engine and put it on there, that little truck. You could use as a, you know, some cities call them fast trucks or whatever, like Nashville has fast trucks. And everything with their, you know, they're fully staffed, they got extra staff to do that. So it'd just be, you know, auto extrication, lift assist, EMS assist, those kind of calls. Whereas the engine is at the station, those 2 guys come off of one engine, get on the whole engine and go. You're gonna leave the engine sit back in the station with 2 more guys on it. And it's a shell game, so to speak.
And
It's a risk you're taking, but most of those calls don't happen at the same time.
What percent of calls would you say that is, that you'd be able to run with something smaller? What was it?
Well, like right now, look today for all that, we're running 38% of our calls in the last 30 days were EMS or vehicle accident related. And then 5% were fire, 14% were false alarm, and I can't remember the other one, was at 12%, I think it was some other category we have. So 38% of our calls right now are EMS or vehicle accident related, like this month so far, this is the 13th, we've already had 9 MVAs that we responded to So they can respond to most of those.
I wanna ask a question a
Yes,
different way. How many times do we take the big truck when we don't need it?
Every time we're on nothing else.
Well,
That's what I'm saying, every call, you leave the building with it.
But if we had something else, how often would the big truck?
Well, by
It'd
what
be
you
less.
said, it would be
Depends.
40%, 30 to 40% of the time you would need the big truck. The rest of the calls would be with a smaller vehicle. 60 to 70% of your calls would
Could
be.
possibly be handled that, yes.
And maybe that's.
So
how
instead
it
of,
is.
instead of 10 out of 10, we're running 3.5 out of 10.
Something like that.
yes.
But you're not extending the life of the.
No, sir, you're not.
engine
You're not.
at
Not
all.
at all. Doesn't do that for you at all.
So,
You just move a smaller piece of apparatus to do the same job.
Just buy a $350,000 truck to make it handy.
Well, let me ask a question.
Simple.
Let me ask more questions.
Yes, sir.
So we got extrication and lift assist. What all is the extrication equipment? What all does that entail?
You've got, the jaws of life, basically, for lack of a better term, you got the jaws on there, you got airbags on there, you got medical equipment on there, you got backboards on there, you got other stuff on there that goes with that whole process on that engine, on both engines. We put some of this stuff on the little truck, we can do our extrication, still takes the same amount of bodies, still takes 3 or 4 bodies to do extrication, because you don't want to send 2 guys out and have a tractor trailer sitting outside, and have 2 guys try to extricate somebody out of a tractor trailer. Still takes a man. So you have 4 guys to do that.
Of the 350, how much of that is in the bed that we retain if we put it on the new truck in the future?
All of it.
Well, no, I mean, we set
Truck
by new
part,
truck.
100,000. Be
Okay,
250.
so we're 250 on this bed, because I wanna, because I can't imagine getting a $350,000 vehicle and drive somebody,
Yeah.
pick somebody else up. So in the future, when we replace this vehicle, we replace it with $100,000 vehicle. I wanted to clearly define that.
Understatement.
Close.
But like,
I'll take pros.
like Mr. Henderson said, you know, the ISO piece of it, you gotta have X number of engines with X number of gallons per minute to maintain your rating. When you go to a fire, the 5% of the fires we go to a month, right now, in the last 30 days, you gotta bring X number of gallons per minute to every one of those scenes. In order to do that, you gotta have a minimum of 2 engines, and if it's industrial or commercial, you gotta get with 3 engines right now. Like when they went to the Hills Chapel Road incident the other day, Sunday morning, I think it was, smoke in the roof, possible roof fire, they responded with 2 engines and a quint. We had 3 pieces of apparatus there, captain was there, and it turned out to be an HVAC motor, no fire, no big deal. But you still have to bring that much manpower and apparatus to that one scene.
in our current situation, we have, engine 1,
Yes, sir.
which is
1,500 gallon engine, yes, sir.
5 to 6 years old,
Yes, sir.
and then our reserve engine is 30+ years old.
The 604 is, yes, sir. That's what we're replacing.
So, are you through with that thought, Bob? Because I want to add on to that thought.
Yes, carry on.
So the ladder truck,
Yes, sir.
you said we were behind on ladder, are we behind on ladder truck? Yes.
Based on ISO,
I mean,
Based on ISO, like, we're gonna drop, or,
No, we're not gonna drop.
depends on where we're at.
Depends on
I
where
mean,
we're
because
at.
I would be very upfront with you, ISO is, in a lot of ways, a lobby tactic to get new expenditures into the system, that is a fact. But, so I don't hang up on ISO, I mean, unless
And
we're
what
gonna
he's-
drop, I
What
would.
he's talking about, like, let's pick on the letter we currently have.
Yeah,
So it's a 2012 model. This is 2024.
yeah.
or 2025. So it's 13 years old. Okay, so say in 5 years, we replace it with a new, little bit longer ladder. Instead of 78 feet, we go with 100 foot. Which would make life a lot easier for us. Now, the other ladder, the Quint, will become a reserve. For a while, we could keep it a reserve status. We figured that part out, but we'd have a new ladder, it'd be longer, we could reach places a lot easier. The good thing about us is we have a 5-story moratorium on facilities in the city of Manchester, you can't build over 5 stories. Whether it's a hotel, convention center, or anything else, you can't build over that, so that helps us out a lot there.
So if
you have to have one ladder truck, and we're past 5.
See, it's semantics, because what if there's 2 hotels on fire? Now, we just sit here and say, we're not having enough fires, we're gonna go buy trucks, we're not having enough fires. But what if we do? What if the whole damn city's on fire? That's why the ISO,
Yes.
you get into semantics of it.
Yeah.
There's technicalities. When you brought up the used truck, that gets my attention for that replacement, bringing that ISO up with a used vehicle versus a new,
And it's all based on percentages. I mean,
Yeah.
each category has a certain percentage. It might not affect anything at all, the
Yeah.
ladder truck will do. But some have more percentages of it than others do.
And the reason we're looking at the engine we're looking at, because that engine would relatively, the back part of the engine, the box, would be the same as the current engine we currently have. So if you go to station 1 and station 2, everything's basically in the same spot, same location, has the same capability. You know, if you go to let's say you mentioned a demo, the guy's gonna bring a demo by tomorrow for us to look at, that Winchester business. And our trucks have full height, full depth compartments in them. Well, if you look at engine 604, engine 611, they don't have full height, full compartments in them, so their compartment space in those 2 trucks is limited by the compartment size. Whereas engine 1 is not limited, because they're full depth, or full deep, and full height. So we put a lot of stuff in there, but we don't have a lot of stuff in there, but they're easier to access, easier to put things in, whereas engine 604 is not that way, and engine 611 is not that way. So they're cramped, and you gotta buy other stuff, put other stuff elsewhere. And we can outfit this new engine, just like the current engine, much better for my custom engine, full height, full depth compartment spaces. It just makes our job that much easier.
Just a couple more questions about 604.
Yes, sir.
What is its condition? Is it racked all the way out?
No, we're using it right now today. It's in service today, it's frontline engine.
Okay.
So it's going as a 10-year service package.
It's past its service life, it needs to go away. But in order to do that, we've got to buy a new engine to get rid of that engine.
and keep in mind, we've already went through a lot of the, biting the teeth. We've already went at least 3 years past when we started talking about a new truck. When we started replacing these, they were stacked on top of each other. And that was the problem that I had, is that we can't go buy 3 full trucks at a time.
Right.
So you have to stagger them out over years. And that's why I think, I really like the idea of, I'm not, again, not for every replacement, but like when we start looking at ISO, if we start looking at like ISO instead of service time, that's when we start, I think we start looking at, if you're considering ISO versus service time, that's when I know you're gonna vote, don't get me wrong, but we have a responsibility to keep these stacked, because the city needs to really create a schedule of these, an ideal schedule as we grow, to keep it spread out.
See, I was asking the questions forward thinking of that, because we've got a 6-year-old that we're fixing to put in reserve, so 15 years from now,
Yeah.
all be stacked again.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So does buying the smaller truck stretch that a couple more years, and now we're not stacked?
But buying a small truck doesn't do anything as far as stretching out the years that you're gonna get out of that engine or anything.
No, but if we could buy a couple of years with a smaller truck, it keeps us from
But you can't.
replacing.
You can't,
That's just it, you can't.
that's not
Y'all are
replacing.
thinking that you're gonna
Today.
keep that truck longer because you've got the smaller truck, but you're not.
No, that's not what I'm thinking, Laura.
Okay.
What I'm thinking is, we got a 6-year-old truck, we're gonna buy a new one.
Right.
Okay. That 6-year gap is never gonna go away, it's just gonna be a 6 or.
Yeah, but it's an 8-year gap.
Eight
Could
years,
be,
it's gonna be
yeah,
an
say
8-year
your gap, and then the next board comes along, could make it a 10-year gap,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
And that'd be more reasonable. and
Yes,
that's-
that's-
But you gotta get there.
yeah.
Well, we were at a 2. I
We
think
were,
at
we
a
were,
2.
we were.
We're at a 2-year gap. Now we're gonna be at 8.
Yeah, my question was, can we create a 10-year gap?
Yeah, and you
I think
can,
we can.
you can with the next, we can with this purchase if you want to, but
Well, effectively are, because so yeah, we're gonna buy one now, I think it's 24 months to build it.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna get it till 2026 or 2027 to begin with.
I would really like to see an assessment for these vehicles part of like an annual
Yes, sir.
review,
Yes, sir.
like, here's the target window to replace this vehicle. Here's the realistic target window, we know when the service year is. Here's how long it could be in reserve, and then I'd like to look at your ISO considerations if there are opportunities for replacing the vehicle. Because I think this is we've done a really good job, but, I mean, I know y'all are kind of, this, going from a 2-year gap to an 8-year gap is pretty significant discipline. But we still need to go over this.
Well, and a little bit to Mark's point, right, I mean, you know, we've kicked this around for 2 years. I heard about it when I was on safety, and at some point, you're 2 years away from even getting it.
Yeah.
And, you know,
I got magic last time, didn't it get moved up real quick after we put money on the table? It got moved up, a lot of times it's 10 years and you got $1 million. They're like, oh, we'll get 10 next month. Yeah.
and I think part of the conversation, right, it has to, I think we should kick it to finance and ask finance where we sit. Can we afford it? I mean, that's the first question, right?
On the big trip.
Yeah, it's a big truck.
Well, I think both of them need to be put into the budget discussion. I mean, or on the smaller truck, we look at 25, 26 budget, is that what we're?
I just brought it up as another way, and I'm not looking to gain years, okay? There's lots of reasons why you would use something like that when you're not, I mean, and look, this is just old history here, but I mean, we've used our trucks to sprinkle fields and to water soccer field, I mean, you know, look, that's not what these trucks are made for, right? And a smaller truck that can make a big percentages of your calls actually is easier to drive, right? I mean, it's easier for everybody involved. There's several good reasons why you need to start looking at how you adapt as we go forward. But the big truck conversation has to be resolved this year, I mean, as to what the intent is, because we have put you off. I mean, I've heard it a few years myself.
We intended to put you off.
I know.
But it's time. It's time.
You know, we were able to do some other things, but we're getting into the age part of it, and it has to be a real conversation sooner or later. But I think we do have to kick it over to finance to say, you know, can the city afford this? I don't have an answer.
I was just anticipating you put the budget there. If you want to go ahead and send it to finance, study consideration.
Finance, yeah, I move we kick it to finance to see if it's a budgeted item or something. No, budgeted for 25, or is it something we're talking about?
Well, really, the good thing about it is, if we say yes now, and say in January, we say, yes, we're gonna let you build a new truck. That's gonna cost us, whatever it's gonna cost us. We're not paying for it until we take delivery of it in 2027. Just like last time, we ordered a new truck in
So that's important,
20
because if that's what we're asking, then we need to
20
go ahead. Yeah.
2017, we ordered the truck, and then we took delivery of it in 2018, it's 2019 model. When they got to us in October that year, then they gave me a check, and I took it to the people in Decatur, and said, here,
Yeah.
we didn't
The
obligate,
city for
we
2
didn't obligate
years,
these funds.
it has to be obligated out of the budget even though we don't use it.
Sure. Oh, sure,
That's all
sure.
I'm saying.
It would just be,
You
yeah.
can't say, okay, hey, I'm gonna buy it today, but I'll pay for it in 2 years, yes, but it has to come out of this physical budget, that we have the money to do it, even though you don't pay for it over here. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Even though there's no money exchange hand for 2 years.
That argument with the rest of it.
Yeah, same thing we've been through.
Yeah.
But I do think that if we're going to extend it over now, and we want to give the okay, I think that we need to have a plan rather than, you know, just put it in extra budget. I think we need to have a plan with, I mean, what's the difference in putting the budget in now and holding those dollars versus 4 months from now? I'm asking,
Nobody's, I mean, that's what we want to do, is go forward.
well, then, that's what I'm saying, but we need to change our motion to say this.
We don't know exactly what you're gonna spend yet. I mean, and no offense, right? I mean, we've got a couple things to know.
Yes, sir.
Is the new diesel requirement gonna cost us extra 50 grand? I mean, what are you asking for? I mean, it could be 9 something versus 8 something. I mean,
Yes, sir. Right now, it's 852, You add the extra 50, it's 902 and change.
Plus you got all the other stuff you gotta add back to it too.
Yeah, another $6,000.
I mean, Alderman French brought up the point, right, I mean, and maybe, you know, as you effectively do what he said about dates and
Yes,
stuff,
sir.
right, that helps everybody build a plan,
Yes,
so
sir.
we kick over at the same time.
Won't hurt it to go before
No.
finance.
It's gotta get on the radar,
Yeah.
right, as something that's being discussed for either the end of this year or the first of the next budget cycle.
That way we'll know where we're at.
Who
Right
buys,
now, we don't.
who buys the smaller truck? I just don't want to hear in 10 years that, well, we gotta replace the bed, we use that for. Like that, because $100,000 replacement is $350 every time.
I mean, we're not, think about it, this way, right? I mean, even the 9 model stuff, we're not replacing because we didn't take care of it, not in good shape. We just do it out of
Yes.
time. So the bed should be the same principle, I would think, right? They should be in good
You
shape.
would think, you know, and it may not be the bed, it may be the truck piece. You may replace the truck for $100,000, put the same bed back on. The bed may hold up and the truck may not hold up, depending on who buy. But I'll keep researching with the two companies on the smaller trucks, see what they can tell me.
So motion to finance, is there a second on that?
There was.
Any more discussion? You think we need to, before we go, all in favor?
Yeah.
Opposed? Unanimous. All right, so we'll put it on vote.
Yes, sir. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
I do, while you're here, I'm gonna bring this up in the police department, but I asked for this last year, maybe 2 years ago, after, or whenever the suicide crisis hotline, was passed, I want us to pass a resolution to, decal all of our vehicles with the 988 number on them. And if there's been enough time now that other departments have done it in a really clear way, where you're not confusing people with 911 and 988, but that phone number deserves to be on our emergency personnel vehicles. And there's no way we can promote that number enough. So I want you guys to be looking
Yes, sir.
into where those would go, because I do plan on making a motion to entertain the plan.
Thank you.
I need to call the police department again. What kind of place? Yeah. Never actually, yeah. Well, I was gonna say, like, I thought these, animal departments, like, see how they separated it out, like, and then this one, I don't particularly like it, I think that'd be confusing. But I would almost get the same. Yeah. So it doesn't-
I would.
Yeah, I mean,
See how they-
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Yes, sir.
responded to, probably about 1,500 calls for the month. In 23, we responded to 1,344 calls, so our call volume is up a little bit. So that would put us for the entire year just a little over around 19,500 calls for the year, which is over last year would be a bit of an increase of about 28%. Currently, in our budget, we're actually we're showing 30% of the budget. But we've got some grants and things and some monies that come in from the state that are used to supplement certain sections of that, officer retention and equipment and stuff. They're actually helping us to see that by producing more money to gain more equipment for those officers. So those things would have to be added into our budget as well. So community events, we did complete our annual Christmas tree food and gift distribution. We served approximately 100, nearly 100 kids or so, individuals and families. That went really well. We also participated in the Coffee County Leadership Program, where this month where Major West provided citizen information on taser usage and deployment. It's always a fun class for people to see that.
That is good.
I don't plan
Does it
to.
all, or you have to?
I don't plan on.
We all have.
That was not in the application.
We couldn't get any volunteers for that either, so. Upcoming events on January 27th and 28th at 9 will be conducting more or less an information presentation on civilian active shooter training here in the boardroom. And we're coordinating that with Director Fisk, and this will be for city employees. And Assistant Chief Floyd will be presenting that information. We've been fortunate that we have not had any vehicle accidents this month. Nobody's run into us, and we've not run into anybody else, so that's a good thing. Our 4 new Durangos have been delivered to the dealership in Columbia, and we're hoping that they'll be ready for pickup possibly within a week or so. Department changes, improvements, our personnel office location changes. We combined our investigative personnel to create a more cohesive and informative work environment. So now Major West actually has his own office, and the investigators are, there's 2 of them that will be in the same office. The other ones will have their own offices. That'll work out better for us and for Major West as well. In hiring, we've hired Officer Justin Smith. He was a part-time certified officer. He's currently employed as a captain with the Swan Police Department. He worked for us back several years ago. He worked as a rank of sergeant and worked in that capacity for a little while. And he left in good standing to pursue other opportunities. And so we think he'll do a good job for us. We also interviewed 2 non-certified candidates. And first one's name is Justin Smith, not to be confused with part-time Justin Smith. So we're going to have to come up with some name for these 2, no doubt, so we know we don't get confused with who we're talking about. And Justin, this Justin Smith is a former employee of the conference center. I think he had been working there for approximately 12 years. Yes, he is. Yeah.
You still there in the 27th?
Yeah, oh, it is, okay. It seemed like a super nice person, and those kind of people make good officers as well. We also hired Hunter Thompson. Hunter's brother is actually a state trooper here in the area, and Hunter has just gotten out of the Marines a short while ago, and he did 6 years as a Marine, and I think he was in ordnance, if I'm not mistaken. And seems to be a very sharp individual, wants to kind of follow in maybe his brother's footsteps a little bit, and become a police officer. I don't know that he's all that interested in the state level, but
It's good to have enough of them.
yeah, I agree. But it seems like a good kid, very receptive. They both have accepted, they've been offered jobs and have accepted those. confronted an individual who was armed with a stick and a shovel. And, while the officers were attempting to apprehend him, he, did strike. Officer was, holding with the stick between his right hand, and it was swollen up, and he was in quite a bit of pain, but, he ended up going to the medical center, getting things checked out, and they get all understood, separated, smoking it down a little bit. Also, with promotions, MPD conducted interviews, to fill the chief investigator position that was left vacant by Chief Investigator Brian Tomlin. And two candidates, applied for it, Brian Eldridge and Andy Farrell, who we did interview. Brian has served 10 years here at MPD in CID and was selected for the position. Captain Keith Hendricks, will be on sick leave beginning this Friday, and we expect him to be out for approximately 6 to 8 weeks. So on training, Bailey Johnson, Drew Leith, and Tim Green all successfully graduated from Tennessee Law Enforcement Training Academy, and they received their Tennessee Post certifications, and they're now certified police officers here in the state of Tennessee. And they did a great job in the academy. They're currently in their fourth phase of their observation training right now. We're actually putting up our by themselves, and they're responding to the calls that other officers are initially responding to. And also, if they were to stop the vehicle or something, we of course would respond to them to assist as well. And we'll do that for every 2-3 weeks, and see how things go, and eventually put them on their own. December the 9th, 2024, Captain Hendricks and Officer Melvin attended the de-escalating training class as part of their annual in-service training officer requirements. And Chief Chase Alford attended homicide and crime scene management course at Murfreesboro. And that's all I have.
You don't want to do fire engine or anything like that?
Not right now.
You want a little?
We might like to have a.
The folks that just went out of the academy, are they all different shifts, or is there any way on?
They are, I think one of them is on midnights currently, and 2 of them are on days, if I remember right.
Any questions? Besides fire truck? So you want to discuss fire truck? No, we moved on down. Yep, there was some, bump it up, and then it's of course. Okay, you guys dismiss, is there anything else from us? I'm entertaining a motion to adjourn.
Well, AJ told me to come talk about parking lot lights.
Yes, under new business.
Okay.
Under new business.
Yeah.
Nobody told me about it, not
So,
tell.
Becky, come on. This is I asked AJ and them to, sorry, yeah, thank you. So, under the rec center, you know, Becky and I'm not going to steal your thunder here, because you have a lot. So, you know, last year, we put all the cameras in, we fixed doors, we did some things right. But since the rec center has been built, the pylons and the wires are there on the side parking lot, we put lights in. And that's the parking lot, right after the staff park in after dark. It doesn't get lit and it's behind that amphitheater. So that whole area is dark at night. If you have anything that goes on, we have to go to the police department or somebody and get some lights. We have things that are going on there. So I asked them guys to get us a quote on what it would cost to light that parking lot.
The price is $29,925, and that would be for those 8 pylons that he's talking about. So it would put in 8 20-foot poles with 2 LED fixtures on each pole, so it would be 16 light fixtures. It would tie into the existing parking lot lights. There is a caveat sentence here that if for some reason existing concrete bases and conduit runs cannot be used, then of course the price would go, he said, that dramatically increase. You know, so I guess I'm not sure if Jared's able to check these if we do say, hey, we'd like to pursue, but
discussion, voter suppression, all the message. All in favor? Opposed? Okay. In that, in the spirit of that, just while you're researching, rabbit holes and lights, you do know when the Hospitality Boulevard lights, people walk up and down that road all the time, those lights do not work, and they don't, I think they belong to they were never adopted into the city. I think it's part of the development, the regional development. So,
That would all be, that, what's that?
I don't know, but I know that that's but there's, I mean, there's kind of the same situation with the electric that may have worked before, but it's more of a valve situation now. I just know that was a topic before.
I mean, we could find out who owns a lot, I mean, I'm not kidding, if we have them, we should be using some of them.
But it is dangerous because a lot of people walk into Starbucks and.
Well, I'm not saying that they are.
We don't want to fix somebody else's lights.
Yeah.
Some may not want us to fix their lines, right? The crew don't want us to fix them anything. And I,
okay with that.
Motion to adjourn?
I'm
I'll
not
make a
gonna
second.
you make a
I'll make
second.
a second, I don't wanna violate Robert's rules.
I'm just saying.
All in favor, stand up.
Go on.
somebody don't have to.
Yes, for a second, I think.
You got it. Hey, I need you to sign.
Say, told me how to do it